Hello, my name is Max and today is Chris.
Hello.
And we're reviewing Doctor Who Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. I watched it with a group of other sort of people who love Doctor Who, so I've sort of got a skewed opinion of it because I couldn't really watch it by myself, because I like to watch it in a dark room by myself, no distractions. But when I first watched it, I liked it. I thought it was a good Matt Smith episode. But what did you think?
I really didn't like it.
Why?
From beginning to end. It went downhill and it didn't start uphill.
I think it went downhill, but I think
it went shockingly downhill.
Well, here are the things I liked. I liked the style of it. I liked the design of the TARDIS. I liked the rooms. I liked the whole sort of TARDIS feel. And sort of like the episode. It felt like, being stranded on a spaceship, which obviously it was. Yeah, maybe that's why I liked it so much, because it just felt a bit more darker.
Well, I just didn't like it at all, and that some of my dislike might be because I was sort of expecting something better.
Yeah.
The promises, it struck me a little bit like how I felt about Asylum of the Daleks. There was a lot of promises beforehand, like Asylum of the Daleks. Oh, we're going to see every Dalek ever, sort of thing. Oh my god! And it's like, no, barely. Just enough for them to tick that. Claim, exactly. But it's like no, don't make out that it's going to be something epic, and it's not.
Well, I did want to see more of the TARDIS. She walked past the.
Don't get me started on that. That bit, I remember saying, I can't remember who I said it to, but I remember definitely thinking,
was it spoke to me about it,
about how they kept promising. Oh, we're going to see more of the TARDIS. Oh, and they definitely said things like swimming pool, library, things like that. So I thought, okay, they're making promises. I didn't get my hopes up because I know what they're like when they come to promises like that. And I said that it's probably just going to be mostly corridors, and they'll just pass these rooms.
Said it to me,
and exactly that happened. She literally flitters past the swimming pool and stuff like that. The only room I'll really give them credit for is the library. But then that just raised more questions, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, so that was a massive letdown. I love the concept of the TARDIS, and again, they just feel like they've ruined it.
What do you think of the plot? Because obviously the Doctor and Clara get magnetised.
Okay. The idea, captured, the whole idea about her getting lost in the TARDIS and he's got to rescue her, fine.
Yeah.
The setup to that, him teaching her to fly the TARDIS, but to do that, he's got to make it vulnerable to some stupid magnet clamp or something.
Yeah. It's Doctor Who. It's convenient. It's convenient, isn't it?
But there's convenient, then there's lazy.
Yeah.
That just felt lazy. It's like, you take the shield down and someone grabs it. It's like, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but okay,
TARDIS is probably the best ship ever made.
I accept. Well, no, it's not. It's clearly stated that that's a shit TARDIS. But yeah, okay, I'll accept it. I'll accept anything Doctor Who throws at me because I love Doctor Who. But it takes a lot of effort for me to swallow some of the stuff they give me.
The Doctor tricks these three scavengers into the TARDIS to find Clara. And they get attacked by these zombies. What were those zombies? Because I'm a bit confused by them. I know they were them.
Well, yeah, they don't give it a very detailed description, but the point, it's along the lines of, it's them from the future, or a possible future.
But what? As in, they aged and they look like that now?
Well, no, it was because they spent time inside the engine room.
Got burnt up.
Yeah, he says that if you spend too long in that engine room, then your skin cells and stuff change and
so
they
that's
burn
them
up. It's not just
staying
them
in there.
aged, it's them burnt up. You saw it happen to two of them. I mean, that whole thing was just complete ridiculousness. It was...
Why? What?
Because think about what you said. Okay, fine. So he said, this isn't an assumption, he said that it's by staying in that room that happens to you. Okay, fine. The Doctor and Clara, correct me if I'm wrong, spent longer in that room than the other two. Now, you might say, and I imagine that if you posed it to the writer or something, they'd go, oh, but time hadn't reasserted itself. They kept saying that, time reasserts itself. That's just fucking ridiculous. And so they're saying that only because the brothers touched each other, that time reasserted itself and they burnt up. I mean, that's just so ridiculous.
It's convenient. It's all convenient.
It's just so... If that's convenient, I mean, that, compared to how it's all resolved in the end, that looks like masterful writing. You want to talk about convenience, talk about literally pressing the magic reset button.
Yeah, okay, Alright, we'll move on to the end. The Doctor goes into the heart of the TARDIS, which is sort of like
Well, my brother
Right.
made a good point out to me. He said it made him think of the construct in the Matrix.
Yeah, I did think that.
It's so true. Like, come on, what is that? Is it supposed to be some sort of like metaphorical thing? It's supposed to be like magical? Is it like heaven or something? It's like, that looks shit.
Well,
Had they blown their budget and they thought, oh, white background?
yeah, I mean,
What
I
did
can
they
do
blow
that.
their
It's
budget
easy.
on? 80% corridors, 10% library, and the rest flittering past rooms? Because that's not much money spent there, surely.
So he pressed the button.
Which he threw to himself through the crack.
Is that crack the same crack as...
Don't know. It looked like one.
It looked like...
And it
yeah.
sounded like one. I'm sure that the sound of like going the seeping or whatever sounded a lot like it. But yeah, so he I mean, I don't even fully get it. It was so just vague and just sort of like, yeah.
So wait,
yeah.
so what happened is the Doctor threw that button through the crack, the time crack, and then the previous
knowing
Doctor,
that Clara would
was
get
gonna
burnt
touch it.
by
But
it,
what
so
did
it
it
was
say on
reminded
the...
something about a button. It was just something
Big
like
button.
that. Yeah, push the big button or
So
something
did
like
the
that.
Doctor write that on that little thing?
Well, he sonicked it, didn't he? I imagine he set that up to burn her that message.
And that's to tell
The Doctor to
Yeah.
press it. But again, this whole sort of like magical, timey-wimey, loopy shit is the most poor bit of writing. It's not clever going, oh, so it's a loop. That's not clever, because that just raises questions. Too many questions, especially in this case. It's just so lazy. I can't accept that. That's terrible writing, to just build up a story and just go, oh, he presses a button. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, people use that as a metaphor. Oh,
Yeah.
they press a button. He literally pressed the button and fixed everything.
Yeah, but what angered me, and the guy sitting, our producers is angered by it as well. He said, with the brothers, the nasty brother, he was suddenly
He's
alright
suddenly
guy.
redeemed. Exactly.
I don't get
I
it. I don't
cannot
get it.
accept. I mean, but just
In
because
charge.
he wouldn't saw his brother's arm off, that means he's an all right guy. What?
Yeah, nice guy.
And why
That's his
not just
redemption.
saw off the bloody metal pipe anyway? Did it
Yeah.
not occur to them till the Doctor pointed it out to saw through the pipe? It's like, that's just overkill. It's like, oh, I've got a splinter in my arm. Fucking saw it off. No, you get the thing in your arm out. Before that, they felt
It's so
like
Doctor Who.
ridiculous
It's so
characters.
Doctor Who.
They did not need those characters. They lent very little to the episode. I don't know,
It
I
ticks
don't
the
care
ethnic
if
minority
like,
box.
I mean, their storyline, you could have taken it out and it would have been fine. Better. Not great, but certainly better. They lent very little to the storyline.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sums up Doctor Who for me. Nasty characters can't just be nasty characters.
They've got to
They
have,
have to have some
glimmer
sort of
hope.
redemption.
Yeah.
Even an alien that's haunting and killing people.
I mean, that's
has to do it
quite
for love.
that's quite a sick thing to do. What they did.
Well,
to
yeah,
him.
we'll move on to that. I don't get. Yeah, they made him think he's an android.
Yeah. But again,
joke.
all you have to do is start thinking about it and go, right, so this guy, how stupid is he that he doesn't... So he's an android, right? So he
Surely
doesn't...
he must have hit
occur to
himself
him.
against
He's
something
been
or
hurt.
scraped.
He's probably got less strength than his brothers. He didn't look that particularly strong. He needs to eat, sleep, drink, piss, shit, all of those things.
Yeah, but they told him, didn't they? They said,
so he's a
yeah.
perfect representation. It
Yeah.
just makes me think, how stupid is this guy?
But he's not supposed to be stupid. He's supposed to be the true leader out of them three. It's just that nasty one
Well, he was
wanted
an
him
idiot.
to be
If their dad wanted him
idiot
to be
little
the
kid.
captain, then the dad was as big an idiot as that.
What confused me is, that sort of the machine that makes machines.
Yeah.
Explain it to me.
Can't. It's just vague,
What
glowing
is it?
orbs, something about metal. It can make stuff. I mean, that I don't know. That's my point. It's like, okay, fine. You've suggested something here. You've introduced something. Tell me about it. Don't just piss off
But
and go, oh, the TARDIS doesn't like you taking its glowing orbs. Well, what are they? Why doesn't he like it? Tell me. Don't just.
I wish you'd said that. I wish that guy had said that to the Doctor.
It's so stupid. I imagine that they think that that's intriguing, that they're putting things in where it's like, oh, what's it going? It's like, no,
Is that
that's not the same.
what did that machine that makes machines? That's what makes the TARDIS infinite in its size. It
No
makes corridors.
No idea.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have been saying how it's just feels like a bit of a, not a rehash, but taken a lot of elements. It's basically the Doctor's wife again. Like, it's the whole, the TARDIS is alive, it's got a personality. It's like, okay, fine, you move it on a notch. You don't just redo old dialogue and stuff.
See, I didn't think it was that bad an episode. Like, for you, was it the worst of this series?
It was a pretty bad one. Ignoring the fact that I was hoping for something better, it was still a poor episode. The only thing I liked in it, the only thing, was the library. Before she starts reading a book about the Time War. Why is there a book sitting around about the Time War? And even so, how could she understand it?
Well, maybe that's our point. The TARDIS is
translating it for her, because I imagine that is written in Gallifreyan.
No, maybe
and it's been established the TARDIS doesn't do that.
The TARDIS put that book there
so that she'd find out his name.
Maybe that's.
But do you reckon we'll ever find out? I don't think so.
Find out what about the Doctor's name?
No, if that was the case, what you said, that it was a setup that she was.
No.
Because I imagine she's forgotten it with the reset.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's. The last. It's been announced recently that the last episode in this series is the Doctor's name. Obviously, that's going to tie in with what Clara read.
Possibly.
So maybe the TARDIS did put it there.
You think?
The Doctor wouldn't have left that book lying around.
Based on everything else that these people write about Doctor Who, I'm not jumping to the assumption that that's going to come back. For all we know, and quite possibly, it's just going to be forgotten. Whatever.
What do you think of Christopher Eccleston's voice?
It wasn't just Christopher Eccleston. All I was expecting was Christopher Eccleston. I'd read about that, but
tell me the others, because I couldn't hear it. I
think John Pertwee cropped up. Ian, I think Martha was in there. I don't know if Sarah.
Is that the point where that liquid was falling out of the bottles?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that lot was. Again, it's like, I want to know.
It's just
what
a little,
was that?
Thing that
are they memories inside a bottle? That makes me think of Harry Potter.
That's more interesting than getting a redemption story from those.
Exactly.
That guy.
No one gives a shit about those
characters.
People want to know about the TARDIS.
Yeah. So, what would you rate the episode out of 10 in terms of New Who?
Oh, poor 5.
5. I'd give it a 7, mainly because it looked okay.
But it didn't.
Yeah, it looked alright.
No, it didn't. I mean, the whole point of that episode was Stephen Moffat has said he wanted to sort of correct. I think it's in the Invasion of Time. They go into the TARDIS corridors and stuff, and they just filmed it in like a hospital, and it's like basically the same corridor from different angles. Yeah, of course it's shit. It was the 70s. They didn't have a massive budget, but that has got far more sort of charm to it than New Who ever could have. It's just, and you actually see the swimming pool in that episode as well, and you see a Sontaran trip over something. It's funny. But in this episode, you just get corridors again, and he said he wanted to stop that, and so I believed that he genuinely did want to rectify it, and it was
the library.
It was the library. And even then, it was only one sort of biggish shot, and the rest of it was up close to Clara. I mean, I did like it when she picked up she picked up an umbrella and stuff like that. Little things like that. They're the only things for me that save this episode.
Well, that was our review of the latest Doctor Who episode. We'd love to hear from you. Comment and subscribe. But for me and Chris, thanks for watching.